Feeling lost in the chaos of life? What if focusing on what truly matters could unlock your purpose and peace? Welcome to Whispers of Wisdom, your go-to channel for audiobooks that transform your life. Today, we're diving into Focus on What Matters by Mary Jaksch, a guide to finding clarity, aligning with your purpose, and living with intention. In the next 35 minutes, you'll discover how to cut through distractions, uncover your core values, and take the first steps toward a meaningful life, plus a challenge of the week and wisdom nuggets to keep you inspired. So grab a notebook, quiet your mind, and let's embark on a journey to what matters most. Stay with me. This is your path to a purposeful life. Welcome to Focus on What Matters by Mary Jaksch, a book that guides us to cut through life's noise and find what truly fulfills us. Drawing from her Zen-inspired wisdom, Jaksch teaches that purpose isn't found in chasing more. It's uncovered by focusing inward. In Part 1, covering chapters 1 through 5, we'll explore how to let go of distractions, discover your core values, and take the first steps toward a life of meaning. Let's begin. Chapter 1, The Noise of Distraction. Jaksch opens with a powerful truth. Modern life bombards us with distractions, social media, endless tasks, and others' expectations. She shares a story of a woman who spent years climbing the corporate ladder, only to realize she hated her job and missed her family. The noise drowned out her purpose. Jaksch explains that distraction is a thief. It steals our attention from what matters. The lesson is to pause and notice the noise. She suggests that every yes to a distraction is a no to your soul. For example, scrolling for hours might feel good, but it leaves you empty. Jaksch introduces mindfulness as a tool to reclaim focus. Simply breathing deeply for a minute can reset your mind. Here's a practical step. Take 1 minute today to sit quietly and notice your thoughts. For instance, if you're a student, can you pause before grabbing your phone? Ask yourself, what's distracting me from my purpose? This chapter teaches us that clarity begins with silence. Chapter 2. The power of presence. Jaksch dives into the power of being present, arguing it's the foundation of a meaningful life. She tells a story of a man who missed his daughter's first steps because he was planning work, only to regret it later. Presence, she says, is about fully engaging with the now, not the past or future. It's where purpose lives. She explains that mindfulness, paying attention on purpose, helps us connect with the moment. For example, savoring a meal or listening to a friend without checking your phone builds deeper relationships. Jaksch shares a Zen practice. Focus on your breath for 5 breaths to anchor yourself. The lesson? Presence turns ordinary moments into purposeful ones. Try this. Next time you eat, focus on the taste for 1 minute. No phone, no rush. For example, if you're a young professional, can you enjoy your lunch break fully? Ask yourself, am I here or lost in my head? This chapter shows us that purpose starts with the present. Chapter 3, Uncovering Your Values. Jaksch teaches that purpose flows from knowing your core values, what you stand for. She shares a story of an artist who quit a stable job to paint, guided by her value of creativity, and found fulfillment despite the risk. Values, she says, are your inner compass, not society's demands. To uncover them, Jaksch suggests reflecting on moments you felt alive, maybe helping someone or creating something. She gives an example. If family time excites you, that's a value to prioritize. The lesson is to align your life with these values, not chase external success. For instance, if freedom matters, a 9-to-5 might not fit. Here's a practical tip. List 3 moments when you felt most alive, maybe teaching a friend or hiking, and identify a value in each, like connection or nature. For instance, if you're a student, did a group project spark joy? Ask yourself, what values guide me? This chapter helps us find our true north. Chapter 4, Letting Go of the Unessential. Jaksch argues that letting go is key to focusing on what matters. She tells a story of a man who decluttered his home and found peace, realizing he'd been holding on to things that no longer served him, like old clothes tied to guilt. Letting go applies to habits, relationships, and goals too. She explains that attachment creates clutter, mental and physical. A Zen saying she quotes is, "To hold, you must first let go." For example, dropping a toxic friendship or a draining hobby frees energy for what matters. Jaksch suggests starting small. Release one item or thought that weighs you down. Try this. Identify one thing to let go of this week, like a grudge or unused item, and release it. For example, if you're a freelancer, can you drop a client that stresses you? Ask yourself, what can I release to focus better? This chapter teaches us that subtraction adds meaning. Chapter 5, the first step toward purpose. Jaksch emphasizes that purpose begins with a single step, not perfection. She shares a story of a woman who wanted to write a book but started with 1 page a day, eventually publishing a bestseller. The lesson? Action, even small, builds momentum toward what matters. Waiting for clarity keeps you stuck. She suggests starting with what feels right, maybe a hobby, a cause, or a skill. For example, if you love music, play an instrument for 10 minutes daily. Jaksch stresses consistency over intensity. Small steps compound like interest. The key is to begin, trusting the path will reveal itself. Here's a practical step. Pick one small action toward a purpose, maybe 5 minutes of journaling or helping someone. For instance, if you're a young professional, can you sketch a dream project? Ask yourself, what's one step I can take today? This chapter inspires us to move toward meaning. Stay tuned for part 2, where we'll deepen this journey with habits and resilience. Now let's get practical with our challenge of the week. This week, I challenge you to take one step toward your purpose by practicing presence and letting go. Here's how. Spend 5 minutes today sitting quietly, focusing on your breath to be present. Then identify one distraction, like social media or clutter, and reduce it by 10 minutes or one item. Why this challenge? Jaksch says presence and letting go clear the way for purpose. It's a small step with big clarity. Share your experience in the comments. What did you let go of, and how did it feel? I'll reply to my favorites. Let's find what matters together. Welcome to our Wisdom Nuggets segment, where we share bite-sized insights from Focus on What Matters to spark your purposeful life. Here are 3 powerful quotes from part 1. Clarity begins with silence. Cut the noise. Takeaway. Pause to find your focus. Presence turns moments into meaning. Takeaway. Live fully in the now. Purpose starts with one small step. Takeaway, action builds your path. That's a wrap on part 1 of Focus on What Matters by Mary Jaksch, right here on Whispers of Wisdom. You've just learned how to cut distractions, embrace presence, uncover your values, let go of the unessential, and take your first step toward purpose. Isn't it liberating to focus on what truly matters? I want to hear from you. What's one step you're taking toward your purpose this week? Drop it in the comments. I'll reply to my favorites. If this episode inspired you, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications for part 2, where we'll build habits for a meaningful life. Share this with a friend who needs clarity, and follow Whispers of Wisdom on X and Instagram for daily inspiration. Keep focusing on what matters, and keep whispering wisdom to your soul. See you in part 2.